Imagine sitting on the throne of the non-word. Legions of soldiers wait for your requirement. Borders stretch as far as they can dream. And treasures flow into your empire from every corner of the earth. You are the most powerful man alive. Emperor of Rome, master of millions, the very symbol of authority, and yet, every night, in the stillness after the battles and the burdens of rule, you sit alone with a simple notebook. Instead of recording victories, you write reminders to yourself, not grand decrees or political strategies, but quiet truths. Words like, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Real strength lies within, because this was Marcus Aurelius, a ruler who commanded armies, but also wrestled with his own thoughts. A man draped in royal robes who chased to life with humility. An emperor who understood that while he could shake the fate of nations, which his greatest challenge was mastering himself to teach of war, betrayal, and the endless weight of power, he turned to philosophy, not as a luxury, but as a survival tool, which his private writings, never meant for the world, became a guide for generations. Proves that even in the high seat of power, the true empire to be ruled is the empire of his own soul. Like Marcus Aurelius was not born into obscurity. He came from a prominent Roman family, one tied to duty, tradition, and the weight of superstition. From a young age, he was immersed in philosophy, drawn less to luxury and more to questions of virtue, justice, and self-discipline. His teachers instilled in him the wisdom of the states, preparing him not just for leadership, but for life itself. He didn't seize power by fires. Instead, he was chosen, adopted and prepared by the emperors who came before him. By the time he became emperor, around the age of 40, Rome was at its height, and its burdens rested squarely on his shoulders. Yet here lies the paradox. Publicly, he was the ruler of the world, leading armies, settling disputes, holding together a vast empire. Privately, he was a philosopher, reminding himself daily that power and glory were fragile, and that true mastery came only from within. Marcus Aurelius lived in both worlds at once, the marble house of empire and the court pages of revolution. And it's this contrast between emperor and thinker that makes his legacy so enduring. Like Marcus Aurelius' reign was far from peaceful. Almost as soon as he took the throne, Rome was struck by disaster. The Antonine plague swept across the empire, killing millions and shaking the foundations of Roman society. Fields lay empty, trade faltered, families were broken. As emperor, he bore the weight of a grieving empire. At the same time, Rome's borders were under constant threat. Germanic tribes pressed from the north, and Parthian forces clashed with Rome in the east. Marcus spent years on the frontiers, not in marble palaces but in military campaigns, writing his meditations between battles. And beyond the emperor's struggles, his own heart carried private sorrows. He buried many of his children, losing them one by one before they reached adult. The emperor of the world was also a grieving father. Yet he did not turn bitter. He turned to philosophy, not as theory but as survival. In the ways of plague, war, and personal laws, he reminded himself, accept whatever comes to you over and in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more earthly fit your needs. Marcus Aurelius' philosophy rested on a simple but powerful idea: divide life into two realms. The first is what you control, your choices, your thoughts, your response to events. The second is what you cannot control, the actions of others, the turning of fortune, the hand of fate. Wisdom, he believed there, comes from focusing only on the first of each night. Even after the weight of empire and war, he returned to this principle in his journals. These writings, known today as meditations, were never meant for anyone else. They were reminders to himself, a private dialogue between emperor and mentor. In one entry, he reflects, I can experiment what tomorrow brings, but I can choose honesty, patience, and discipline today. For Marcus, power was not in armies or riches, but in ruling his own mind when faced with betrayal or insult. He met at wisdom, reminding himself that he could not control another's words, only which his response, which his strength came from restraint, not retaliation. On the frontiers, he chased life as his soldiers lived there. Instead of retreating to luxury, he slept in tents, shared their rations, and endured the same bitter winters. This humility bound him to achievement and showed that philosophy was more than theory. It was a way of enduring hardship with dignity, proves that true leadership begins with mastering oneself. The struggles Marcus faced, betrayal, hardship, loss, may feel distant, but the principle still speaks to life today. We deal with workplace stress, online insults, and the fear of failure. which is wisdom offers a simple 3D participation and name the event. Instead of reacting instantly, recognize what just happened and ask, is this within my control? Most of the time, the answer is not choose one virtue section. Respond with honesty, patience, or courage. For example, imagine you receive an angry message from a colleague. Your first instinct might be to strike back to defend yourself with sharp words. But this is where the practice begins. Step back, breathe, recognize what just happened. You cannot control their mood, their stress, or their choice of words. But you can control your own response. Instead of feeding the fire, you choose calm words or perhaps silence. In doing so, you protect your peace, keep your dignity, and turn a moment of conflict into an exercise in strength. This is what Marcus Aurelius practiced in his time, and what we can practice today. Armies, wealth, reputation, they all rise and fall. But the greatest empire you will ever rule is your inner life. If you find this useful, subscribe for more style stories, and keep building strength where it matters most, within yourself.